There are two components to running a successful Airbnb operation. The first one being that you need to assemble a solid team of what I call Airbnb Avengers, and the second one is automation.
Recently, we've had several questions from people asking about what they should look for in a property manager.
So in addition to being experts in their market,
we really didn't want to be in the business of tracking down our payment from each owner every month, so we went with the first option.
But it's extremely important to make sure that there is a clear and simple paper trail from the money leaving the guest pocket and arriving into the owner's pocket.
The long-awaited decline of short-term rentals. Are you up for an exciting move into the unstable world of short-term rentals? You need to look no further since we have the inside word on the sector's explosive growth and impending collapse. It all began with Airbnb, the well-known website for holiday rentals that offered reasonably priced and genuine travel experiences. However, because there was minimal oversight, the business soon got out of hand as drunken partygoers wreaked havoc on once quiet neighborhoods. The future of short-term rentals is currently in jeopardy as local governments race to enact legislation to counteract its detrimental impacts. Come along as we examine the most recent advancements and discuss the implications for both travelers and homeowners. Hold on tight, this ride is going to be crazy. The temporary housing sector is estimated to be over $100 billion and has had a significant impact on global tourism. Though some hosts who first promoted the idea as a novel alternative to conventional hotels have found early success, the movement is causing resentment among the public, government officials, and even its patrons. Its detractors now claim that it embodies many of the issues that are common to real estate in the modern era. It has also made the already serious housing problem worse. The short-term rental business grew as a result of Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia's attempt to rent out an air mattress-equipped spare room to conference attendees when all the hotels were fully booked. Initially dubbed Air Bed and Breakfast, their service eventually morphed into the well-known short-stay app that is now known as Airbnb. At the moment, Airbnb is worth more than the combined value of major hotel chains like Wyndham and Hilton. Other peer-to-peer or network market apps like Uber, DoorDash, Lyft, and Amazon have had difficulty taking off in some areas despite their remarkable global market penetration. Customers profited from Airbnb's less expensive option compared to older hotels, and hosts delighted in the chance to supplement their income by renting out spare rooms or full residences. But the four main players in the short-term rental game, guests, hosts, the general public, and the platforms, face four different problems that might seriously jeopardize the market's viability and have a knock-on effect on the real estate sector. The main problem is that it's hard to feel sorry for the hosts. Homeowners may now profit from their real estate in novel and exciting ways thanks to websites like Airbnb. Although living with a roommate was always an option, Airbnb allowed homeowners to rent out their extra rooms to visitors looking for a more affordable option. Travelers who were willing to pay 3 times as much as a long-term roommate. While having a short-term roommate was ideal since it brought in extra income, the biggest advantage was having more flexibility. While short-term renters had a brief stay, long-term roommates could provide issues if they were untidy, noisy, or neglected to pay the rent on time. In addition, hosts could block out dates on the app if they wanted the house to themselves, and Airbnb managed payments and included a rating system to deter bad conduct. The majority of users use Airbnb to list full residences for guests to rent out as their exclusive accommodations, because the platform's initial value proposition catered to a specific kind of traveler who preferred living with strangers while on vacation. Short-term alternatives to traditional long-term tenants quickly emerged in the rental industry. Even if an investment property was only occupied for half the year, its owners could earn twice as much income from short-term rentals. However, because the income from short-term rentals was uncertain and houses needed to be cleaned after every visitor, it required extra maintenance. Nevertheless, houses close to cities and popular tourist destinations benefited more financially from short-term rentals. The Airbnb Barons, a group of prominent Airbnb landlords, developed homes with low maintenance requirements in mind. They made use of inexpensive but stylish furniture, easily cleaned surfaces, keypad locks, and minimal gardening, among other things. These advantages did not, however, continue forever. Investors purchased numerous properties to be rented out on Airbnb. As a result of Airbnb's aggressive marketing campaign, aimed at both potential hosts and visitors. Some Airbnb hosts made property management their full-time career, while others hired realtors in well-known tourist locations to oversee their houses. The extra money from short-term rentals made it simpler for hosts to get more loans so they could purchase more properties. Long-term rentals have increased in cost as a result of short-term rentals, yet hosts are finding it difficult to rent out their houses enough to make them profitable due to the oversaturation of the market. Those who depended on the higher rent returns may have to sell their houses because many hosts are no longer ready to take the chance of short-term rentals. It's critical to comprehend the reasons behind the rise in popularity and eventual collapse of short-term rentals. Conventional hotels have become too expensive and don't offer what many travelers want. While hotels do provide services like room service, housekeeping, and security, these amenities aren't always desirable or affordable. In contrast, Airbnb offers affordable lodging with multiple bedrooms and kitchens that feel more like a home. A survey found that most people choose Airbnb because it is cheaper than even the cheapest hotels. Despite positioning itself as a way to have an authentic travel experience with local hosts, the majority of users prefer to keep their rental experience private. However, as Airbnb's prices continue to rise, it is now competing with five-star hotels. Customers are therefore turning to other businesses that offer apartment-style lodging with larger rooms that include kitchens and multiple sleeping arrangements. Because they combine the cost and space of Airbnb with the constancy of a hotel chain, these partially serviced apartments provide a better value. However, the negative reputation of Airbnb has been caused by hosts who charge outrageous cleaning fees or who have unreasonable expectations of their guests regarding cleaning before they depart. In contrast, housekeeping takes care of everything for free at hotels. The unfavorable experiences of hosts and visitors do not bode well for Airbnb's reputation as an intermediary platform. Furthermore, some people are just tired of the Airbnb business model in general, which has compelled conventional hotels to enhance their services to remain competitive. Although most hosts who have invested in rental properties still own their homes or can sell them for a profit in the current costly rental market, they must understand that investing is always risky. In the end, unless they made poor decisions, neither hosts nor patrons have suffered losses. But for those who did lose, the cost of vacation rentals began to outweigh the need for long-term housing, driving them out of their homes. Politicians are proposing new laws to restrict the number of short-term rentals that are allowed to exist and charge hosts additional taxes for operating unregistered hotels because of the growing issue of unaffordable homes in certain cities, even though low-income renters have no control over the platform itself. Platforms will be compelled by this regulation to delete listings from hosts that break the guidelines. Since short-term rentals, without the same permissions as a conventional hotel, are now illegal in some areas, hosts won't want to bother because the expense is so high. The other group fighting short-term rentals are the people you would least expect to be the heroes in a housing story: homeowners associations, owners associations, and the apartments and suburbs that have them. The locals forbid owners from renting out their properties to transient tourists because they detest loud parties and the additional security risks that come with hosting short-term guests. Some hosts have decided to just disregard these rules and accept the fines as an inevitable aspect of running their establishments. In 2022, the city of Los Angeles may have been fined between $32.2 million and $56.8 million, according to research written by Mill University professor of urban planning, David Smith. This is despite the fact that 45% of all short-term rental advertisements are lawful in some way. The semi-legal method of rentals is still working well for certain hosts, but it is creating problems for the platform. Although most of Airbnb's properties are rented out as brand new residences, where guests never even get to meet the homeowners, the firm is nevertheless shelling out hundreds of millions of dollars to defend its operating rights in court cases across the globe. They keep spending a lot of money marketing their service as a means of seeing a new city with a local host because of this. Because it is more difficult to distinguish shared short-term stays from those that are simply stays with friends, regulating them is more challenging. The folksy image of someone sharing their bedroom with curious tourists who want to visit a new place with a local is better public relations than the multimillionaire or institutional real estate investor who recently listed their 10th house with a tech business valued at $80 billion. That is the scandal surrounding Airbnb's fourth reason. The platform is losing control over users, hosts, and visitors. While VRBO and other established travel companies have long been competitors to Airbnb, TripAdvisor, Booking.com, and Expedia are now creating their short-term rental platforms, such as Turnkey, or incorporating them into already existing websites that gather listings from various hotels. Homeowners who use Airbnb to list their homes are charged a 3% host fee and a 14% service fee. However, some hosts have found that collaborating with local organizations can decrease their expenses, which they then split with guests. Airbnb's vacation rental system is similar to Uber's food delivery and ride-sharing, but Airbnb profits much more than Uber per transaction. This advantage has helped Airbnb become profitable, especially in the current high-interest rate environment where other peer-to-peer platforms have struggled. However, Airbnb's lack of a competitive business strategy may make it vulnerable to new competitors who can offer better services or lower prices. We hope that this video has given you insightful knowledge about how short-term rentals affect communities and the housing market. It's critical to keep in mind that the housing market provides secure and reasonably priced housing for both people and families. We can make the housing market more secure and sustainable for everyone if we encourage long-term rentals and discourage short-term ones. Kindly click the button below to like and follow our channel, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.